Want to speak real Indonesian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at indonesianpod101.com.
Going to the mall. Yay, mall! Hi everyone, I'm Blanca, and you're watching Indonesian Top Words. So today we're going to learn about 10 things to do in the summer in Indonesia. So I have to let you know that we don't have like summer, spring, autumn, and winter. So it's always like summer all year long. It's very good. So I'm not saying that you don't need these 10 things because we also have like vacation, but it's usually school vacation. Or office vacation. So yeah, it's always summer in Indonesia. Okay, the first thing. Bersantai di pantai. Bersantai di pantai. To relax at the beach. Bersantai di pantai. To relax at the beach. Saya suka bersantai di pantai saat akhir pekan. Saya suka bersantai di pantai saat akhir pekan. I like to relax at the beach on the weekend. Belajar memasak masakan Indonesia. Belajar memasak masakan Indonesia. To learn to cook Indonesian food. Belajar memasak masakan Indonesia. To learn to cook Indonesian food. Saya akan mengikuti kelas memasak masakan Indonesia. Saya akan mengikuti kelas memasak masakan Indonesia. I will take an Indonesian cooking class. Yes, I think you should. Learn how to cook Indonesian. Start with nasi goreng, fried rice, mie goreng, fried noodle, and so on and so on. And you have to learn this because it's the best food, one of the best food in the world. Okay? Makan barbecue. Makan barbecue. To have a barbecue. Makan barbecue. To have a barbecue. Saya lebih suka makan barbecue di restoran. Saya lebih suka makan barbecue di restoran. I prefer to have a barbecue at a restaurant. Makan barbecue or to have a barbecue, it's not a very usual thing we do at home in Indonesia because we can just go to a close street vendor and they sell like grilled chicken or grilled fish, and it's easier. You don't have to prepare anything by yourself and just pay and leave. Yeah, you should try. Sate ayam. That means like grilled chicken. So good and cheap. Pesta semalaman. Pesta semalaman. To party all night. Next thing to do is pesta semalaman. To party all night. Mereka pulang jam 5 pagi setelah pesta semalaman. Mereka pulang jam 5 pagi setelah pesta semalaman. They went home at 5 o'clock after partying all night. Berjemur. Berjemur. To get a tan. Berjemur. To get a tan. Dia sedang berjemur di balkon. Dia sedang berjemur di balkon. He is getting a tan at the balcony. So I don't think this is what Indonesian usually do because we already have a tan skin, so we don't do berjemur or to get a tan. Pergi mendaki. Pergi mendaki. To go hiking. Pergi mendaki. To go hiking. Kami akan pergi mendaki akhir pekan ini. Kami akan pergi mendaki akhir pekan ini. We will go hiking this weekend. Bekerja paruh waktu. Bekerja paruh waktu. To work a part-time job. Bekerja paruh waktu. To work a part-time job. Setiap hari Senin dan Selasa, saya bekerja paruh waktu di kafe. Setiap hari Senin dan Selasa, saya bekerja paruh waktu di kafe. Every Monday and Tuesday, I work part-time at the cafe. Bersenang-senang dengan teman. Bersenang-senang dengan teman. To have fun with friends. Bersenang-senang dengan teman. To have fun with friends. Saya sering main ke mall untuk bersenang-senang dengan teman. Saya sering main ke mall untuk bersenang-senang dengan teman. I often go to the mall to have fun with friends. This is so true. Yes, we hang out at the mall every time when I was at school. You know, mall is like the center of entertainment. We can do window shopping or just eating lunch, eat dinner, or just eat ice cream, yogurt, or just buy coffee and sit in the cafe for hours and hours and talking, and that's it. Just small. It's like everyday ritual going to the mall. Yay, mall! Mengikuti sekolah musim panas. Mengikuti sekolah musim panas. To attend summer school. Okay, and the next one. Mengikuti sekolah musim panas. To attend summer school. Adik saya akan mengikuti sekolah musim panas. Adik saya akan mengikuti sekolah musim panas. My sister will attend summer school. So as I said before, we don't have summer or winter or autumn or spring. So in this case, it's true if he or she will attend summer school abroad. Yeah. It could be, wait, summer, it's always like August, July, but I'm not sure. Probably it's only different in Australia. Is that correct? I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Di rumah dan main internet. Di rumah dan main internet. To stay inside and browse the internet. I like this one. Di rumah dan main internet. To stay inside and browse the internet. Kalau hari libur, biasanya saya di rumah dan main internet. Kalau hari libur, biasanya saya di rumah dan main internet. On holiday, I usually stay at home and browse the internet. So we have a saying for this in slang word, means too lazy to go out. And the slang word is mager. 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 It's from the words males gerak. It means too lazy to move or go out. And this usually when it's rainy outside or too hot, which is usually every day. Are you mager? Males gerak? Too lazy to move when it's raining? Then I'm the same with you. Okay guys, this is the end of our lesson today. So now you know 10 things to do in the summer in Indonesia. Be sure to like if you like this video or subscribe. And don't hesitate to write any comments or question on the comment section below. And don't forget to check our website at indonesianpod101.com to check any other lesson in Indonesian. Okay, I hope you enjoy this video. And sampai jumpa lagi. Goodbye. Hello everyone, I'm Blanca and you're watching Top Words. Today, we are going to learn top 25 Indonesian phrases. Are you ready? Halo. Halo. Hello. Okay, first one. Halo. Hello. We are saying this if we meet someone for the first time. Halo. Halo. Or you can say this on the telephone. Halo. Can I speak to... Selamat pagi. Selamat pagi. Good morning. Selamat pagi. Good morning. Selamat pagi. This is morning. Very, very good morning. Okay, the third one. Selamat sore. Selamat sore. Good afternoon. Selamat sore. Good afternoon. Selamat sore. Good afternoon. Selamat malam. Selamat malam. Good night. Selamat malam. Can you guess what it is? Yes, good night. Yeah, afternoon, good night. Selamat malam. Siapa nama kamu? Siapa nama kamu? What's your name? Siapa nama kamu? What's your name? Siapa nama kamu? What's your name? Saya Blanca. Saya Blanca. I'm Blanca. To answer the previous question, I would say, saya Blanca. My name is Blanca, or I'm Blanca. Saya Blanca. Siapa nama kamu? What's your name? Saya Mika. I'm Mika. Senang bertemu denganmu. Senang bertemu denganmu. Nice to meet you. Senang bertemu denganmu. Nice to meet you. Senang bertemu denganmu. Or you can say, senang bertemu dengan kamu. Senang bertemu denganmu. Senang bertemu denganmu. Did you get it? Apa kabar? Apa kabar? How are you? This is like universal. Apa kabar? How are you? Apa kabar? Saya baik, terima kasih. Dan kamu? Saya baik. Terima kasih. Dan kamu? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Saya baik, terima kasih. Dan kamu? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Saya baik, terima kasih. Dan kamu? Mohon. Mohon. Please. Mohon. Please. Mohon. Terima kasih. Terima kasih. Thank you. Terima kasih. Terima kasih. Did you get it? Terima kasih. Thank you. Sama-sama. Sama-sama. You're welcome. Okay, this next one is the answer to the previous phrase. Sama-sama. You're welcome. Sama-sama. You're welcome. So if people say terima kasih, you can say sama-sama. Iya. Iya. Yes. Iya means yes. Iya. So you can answer this if you're agreeing with something or you want to say yes. Or just yeah. Iya. Or yeah. Yes. Tidak. Tidak. No. If you want to say you disagree or you don't like something, you don't want something, you can say tidak. No. Tidak. No. This is the very formal way to say no, but usually we say enggak. But that's like a casual, very casual and informal way of saying no. Tidak. Enggak. Baik. Baik. Okay. Baik. Okay. Baik. Okay. This words means good, but it can be used if you say okay. It's also okay to use okay in Indonesia because they also understand okay. But in a formal way, you say baik. Permisi. Permisi. Excuse me. Permisi. Excuse me. Permisi. So you can use this if you are visiting someone's house and you're knocking at the door and knock knock. Permisi. There's no one answering. Just keep saying permisi. Permisi until they came out. Saya minta maaf. Saya minta maaf. I'm sorry. 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 What did I do wrong? I don't know, but just say you're sorry. It works every phrase, every situation. Saya minta maaf. Jam berapa sekarang? Jam berapa sekarang? What time is it? Jam berapa sekarang? Can you guess what it means? Yeah, what time is it? Jam berapa sekarang? What time is it? I don't know. I don't have any watch. Di mana letak kamar kecil? Di mana letak kamar kecil? Where is the restroom? Di mana letak kamar kecil? I have to go. Di mana letak kamar kecil? Where is the restroom? Mohon tunggu sebentar. Mohon tunggu sebentar. Wait a moment. Mohon tunggu sebentar. Wait a moment. Mohon tunggu sebentar. Wait a moment. Toot toot. The line you're calling is busy. Mohon tunggu sebentar. Wait a moment, wait a moment. Mohon tunggu sebentar. It's always busy. Berapa harganya? Berapa harganya? How much is this? Berapa harganya? How much is this? You can use this if you are shopping in a small shop. Mbak, berapa harganya? And you can even bargain for it if they let you. Just try. Mbak, berapa? Miss, how much? Tolong. Tolong. Help. Tolong. Help. Tolong. Help. Help please. Mohon tolong saya. Sampai jumpa lagi. Sampai jumpa lagi. See you later. Sampai jumpa lagi. See you later. Sampai jumpa lagi. You can use this in the end of your meeting. Sampai jumpa lagi. Selamat tinggal. Goodbye. Selamat tinggal. This usually ends not very well because it means like you're not going to see each other again. Selamat tinggal. Goodbye. I don't like this. Saya tidak tahu. Saya tidak tahu. I don't know. Saya tidak tahu. I don't know. Saya tidak tahu. I don't know. So, yeah, if you were asked by someone about something and you definitely don't know, you should say this. Saya tidak tahu. I don't know. What's your hobby? Saya tidak tahu. I don't know. What do you know? Okay guys, so that's the end of today's lesson. Let me know which is your favorite phrase of the day, or if you have any question, don't hesitate to write in the comment below. If you like this video, please like this video and subscribe, and don't forget to check our website indonesianpod101.com to check other Indonesian lessons. Okay then, sampai jumpa lagi. Goodbye.
Halo,
Hai,
nama saya Edi. Siapa nama Anda?
Nama saya Tuti.
Orang Indonesia?
Ya, saya orang Indonesia. Dan Mas Edi?
Saya orang Amerika.
Panas di luar.
Iya, panas sekali. Karena musim panas sekarang.
Di mana topi saya?
Ini bukan.
Bukan, itu topi kamu. Apa yang kamu lakukan setiap hari?
Di pagi hari, saya selalu menggosok gigi saya.
Bagus.
Di malam hari, saya menggosok gigi.
Dan di sore hari, kamu sering bermain video game.
Tidak, saya biasanya mengerjakan PR di sore hari.
Bu, Apa ini?
Ini pohon beringin.
Oh, apa itu?
Itu keris.
Oh, apa ini?
Ini keluar.
Oh, begitu. Mas Yono,
Ya,
kerjanya apa?
kerja saya di bank. Mas Edi kerjanya apa?
Saya guru di sekolah dasar.
Oh, begitu. Sekarang liburan.
Ya, betul.
Hi everyone, I'm Blanca and you're watching Indonesian Top Words. Today's lesson is 10 phrases for surviving back to school. Interesting, we're back to school. Like now, we're going to learn. Okay, let's start. Ransel, backpack. Saya suka ransel ini karena ringan dan luas. Saya suka ransel ini karena ringan dan luas. I like this backpack because it is light and spacious. Saya suka ransel ini karena ringan, light, dan luas. Teman sekelas, classmate. Saya akan pergi makan siang bersama teman sekelas saya. Saya akan pergi makan siang bersama teman sekelas saya. I will have lunch together with my classmate. Ring! Oh, it's lunchtime. I'm going to eat lunch with my classmate. Let's go! Hey, wait! I want to eat lunch too. I'm hungry. Wait! Pekerjaan rumah. Homework. Sudah tengah malam, tapi pekerjaan rumah saya belum selesai. It's already midnight, but I haven't finished my homework. Please help someone. Okay, next word. Ujian, exam. Apakah kamu sudah belajar untuk ujian besok? Apakah kamu sudah belajar untuk ujian besok? Have you studied for tomorrow's exam? So about exam or ujian, we have a system that we call SKS. It stands for Sistem Kebut Semalam. So the English for this is an overnight racing system. If you have an exam tomorrow and you haven't studied at all, like you're trying to study everything overnight. And that's what most students do. But that's the student life. Sekolah. School. Sekolah saya terletak sekitar 15 menit dari rumah saya. Sekolah saya terletak sekitar 15 menit dari rumah saya. My school is located around 15 minutes from my home. Belajar. To learn. Saya ingin belajar mengendarai mobil. Saya ingin belajar mengendarai mobil. I want to learn how to drive a car. I think there's a lot to study beside learning how to drive a car. You can study how to cook Indonesian, belajar masak Indonesia, learn how to cook Indonesian food, or you can keep learning Indonesian like now. Libur musim panas. Summer break. Libur musim panas mendatang, kami akan pergi berkunjung ke Hawaii. Libur musim panas mendatang, kami akan pergi berkunjung ke Hawaii. On the upcoming summer break, we will travel to Hawaii. So about this summer break, libur musim panas, we actually don't have libur musim panas or summer break because we have summer all year long. We don't have spring, autumn, or winter. So we actually don't call it summer break. We call it end of the school year vacation. So it happens around May, June. It happens when you finish like one school year. Like if you finish your 5th grade, then you're going to move to 6th grade. You got a break. You get like a month and a half break. So yes, we don't actually have summer break. Kami berada di kelas yang sama. Kami berada di kelas yang sama. We're in the same class. My friend. Kami berada di kelas yang sama. We're in the same class. Yay, I'm not scared anymore. Kelas apa saja yang kamu ambil? Kelas apa saja yang kamu ambil? What classes are you taking? Kelas apa saja yang kamu ambil? What classes are you taking? I'm taking science, math, PE, chemistry, literature, English, Spanish, French, German, Chinese. Will I survive? Apakah kamu sudah menyelesaikan pekerjaan rumah? Apakah kamu sudah menyelesaikan pekerjaan rumah? Did you finish your homework? You don't have any? Really? Okay then, I will give you one. You can write on the comment section about this lesson today anything that you want to write. If you like it, if you have a favorite phrases or words in Indonesian, or any question that you want to ask me. Okay? That's your homework. Okay, that's the end of the lesson today. Don't forget that the homework that I gave you just now, write on the comment section. Try to press that like button if you like this video and subscribe. And be sure to check our website at indonesianpod101.com to check any other lesson in Indonesian. That's all, folks. Sampai jumpa lagi. Goodbye.
You are at a train station where you're attempting to buy an express ticket from a ticket machine. Which option should you choose to buy an express ticket? Which option should you choose to buy an express ticket? The option on the bottom left is for an express ticket.
Tiket ekspres.
You are at a train station where you've just bought an express ticket. Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? The ticket says that you're in train car number 1 in the 8th row in seat C.
Gerbong nomor 1, baris ke-8, kursi C.
You are at a train station where you're reading the train schedule for an express ticket that you've just bought. On which days are there no express trains running? On which days are there no express trains running? There are no express trains running on public holidays and the third Sunday of every month.
Hari libur hari Minggu ketiga setiap bulan.
You are on a platform at a train station where you're waiting for your train. Suddenly, a message appears on the display. What does the message on the display mean? What does the message on the display mean? The display reads, "The next train will not stop."
Kereta tidak akan berhenti.
You are at a train station where you're looking for the best exit to catch a taxi. Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? You should take the east exit in order to get to the taxi rank.
Pintu keluar timur.
Want to speak real Indonesian from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at indonesianpod101.com.
Halo, nama saya Vira. Senang bertemu dengan Anda. Hi, I'm Vira. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn basic Indonesian expressions. It's super easy, and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Indonesian. But first, it is important to clarify the difference between formal and informal speech. Let's first see how Indonesian people introduce themselves in an informal situation. Halo, nama saya Vira. Hi, my name is Vira. Halo, nama saya Vira. Start by saying, halo, nama saya. Then, say your name. Nama saya Vira. Halo, nama saya Vira. And now, let's see the same sentence in formal speech. Selamat siang, nama saya Vira Lukito. Senang bertemu dengan Anda. My name is Vira Lukito. Nice to meet you. Selamat siang. Nama saya Vira Lukito. Senang bertemu dengan Anda. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at this together. Halo is an informal way of saying hello in Indonesian. In formal situations, you want to use selamat siang in place for good afternoon. Nama saya Vira has not been changed. In both cases, nama saya means my name is. However, during a formal self-introduction, we also say our last name. So I said, Vira Lukito. For a formal situation, you might want to add, senang bertemu dengan Anda, which is the polite way to say, nice to meet you. One more time. The informal way to introduce yourself in Indonesian is, halo, nama saya Vira. The formal way to introduce yourself is, selamat siang, nama saya Vira Lukito. Senang bertemu dengan Anda. Now, it's time for Vira's Insights. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands in Indonesia. If you use the correct sentence with Indonesian people, they are definitely going to be impressed. Do you know how we say thank you in Indonesian? You'll learn how to say this and many other words in the next lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Sudah siap? Are you ready? Mari kita mulai. So let's start. There are several ways to thank people. Let's start with the easiest. It is only one word. Makasih. Makasih. Makasih means thanks. To make this phrase stronger, you just need to add banyak. Makasih banyak. Makasih banyak. Banyak means a lot. So, makasih banyak is like saying thank you very much. During the last lesson, we mentioned both the informal and the formal way of speaking Indonesian. Makasih is the informal way to thank someone. If you want to be more formal, there is another phrase you should use. Terima kasih. Terima kasih. Let's break this phrase down. Terima means receive and kasih stands for kindness. But overall, terima kasih means thank you. You can also strengthen this phrase and say, thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak. How do you answer? It's easy. There are basically two different ways to do it. The first is sama-sama. Sama-sama. Sama-sama literally means same, but it is the equivalent of you are welcome. The other way to say you are welcome is the expression kembali. Kembali. Literally, this word means back or return, but it stands for thanks right back at you. This has become a common and polite way to respond to someone thanking you. So, when someone says makasih to you, simply reply with kembali. Now, it's time for Vira's Insights. Makasih is actually the shortened form for terima kasih, and it should be used within casual conversation among friends and family. But terima kasih can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and at any time. In the last lesson, we learned how to show gratitude to people by saying terima kasih. In this lesson, we learned some of the most common greetings used in Indonesia. Sudah siap? Are you ready? Mari kita mulai. So let's start. The most used informal greeting is halo. Halo. Halo means hi or hello. We use it when we meet. It is very casual, so we should only use this greeting with friends or family. If you need to greet someone in a formal situation, say selamat siang. Selamat siang. Literally, selamat siang means good day. We can use selamat siang only during the daytime, from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. During the afternoon, we say selamat sore. Selamat sore. Sore is Indonesian for afternoon, so selamat sore means good afternoon. This is used from about 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. During the night, we say selamat malam. Selamat malam. Malam is Indonesian for night. This is used from 6 p.m. to midnight. And finally, during the morning, we say selamat pagi. Selamat pagi. Pagi is Indonesian for morning. This is used in the morning until 11 a.m. These four greetings are used when we meet someone. But when we leave, we don't say them again. When we part in Indonesia, we say selamat tinggal. Selamat tinggal. Selamat tinggal means goodbye, and it is a formal expression. Finally, in Indonesian, we have an expression meaning see you that can be considered both formal and informal. Sampai jumpa. Sampai jumpa. Now, you can greet people in many different ways in Indonesian. Let's review them all again. When meeting in informal situations, we say halo. When meeting older people or someone we don't know, we say selamat pagi in the morning, selamat siang in the early afternoon, selamat sore in the evening, or selamat malam at night. When living in a formal situation, we say selamat tinggal. When living, no matter whether it's a formal or informal situation, sampai jumpa. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Vira's insights. In formal situations, Indonesian people commonly greet each other by shaking hands and bowing the head slightly. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we can just wave. In the last lesson, we learned the most common forms of greetings in Indonesian. Do you remember them? In this lesson, we're going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Indonesian, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if their answer is no. Here's the informal way to say it. Kamu bisa berbahasa Inggris? Kamu bisa berbahasa Inggris? Kamu bisa berbahasa Inggris literally means you can speak English, but depending on the way you say it, you can turn it into a question. Kamu is the informal way to say you. The next word is the verb bisa, which means be able. Berbahasa is a verb. This word is made up of bahasa, which means language, and ber, which is a prefix. When ber is combined with the word stem bahasa, it means to talk or to speak. And you probably recognize Inggris to be English. To learn more about ber verbs like berbahasa, please look at our Absolute Beginner series on IndonesianPod101.com. You can find very detailed grammar lessons and resources there. We are now going to make this sentence formal. First, we have to use the word apakah, which roughly means tell me whether. Next, we need to use the formal version of you, which is Anda. And everything else stays the same. Apakah Anda bisa berbahasa Inggris? Apakah Anda bisa berbahasa Inggris? Adding permisi, excuse me, the sentence becomes even more polite. Permisi, apakah Anda bisa berbahasa Inggris? Permisi, apakah Anda bisa berbahasa Inggris? The responses you will receive could be one of these three. Bisa, I can. Bisa, sedikit, a little. Sedikit. Maaf, saya tidak bisa. Sorry, I can't. Maaf, saya tidak bisa. Maaf is a polite way to say you're sorry. Saya is Indonesian for I. Since this last one is a negative statement, we need to say tidak, which means no, before the verb bisa. So, sorry, I can't, is maaf, saya tidak bisa. Now it's time for Vira's insights. For those of you who are not only English speakers, you can obviously use this question with any language you need. Just substitute Inggris with Italia for Italian, Rusia for Russian, Spanyol for Spanish, Jerman for German. In the last lesson, we learned the phrase permisi, apakah Anda bisa berbahasa Inggris? Excuse me, do you speak English? We mentioned the word permisi, which means excuse me in Indonesian. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use permisi and other words when apologizing in Indonesian. We should use permisi in formal situations, such as when we are ordering something in bars or restaurants. For example, permisi, saya mau pesan kopi ya. Excuse me, a coffee please. We can also use it when asking a question. Permisi, di mana letak Monas? Excuse me, where is the National Monument? Sometimes we will often hear people say "ya" on the end of command sentences, which is an informal way to say please. This word is used to soften the commands or request. And sometimes, "ya" is used to ask whether something is true or not. "Ya" is very often replaced by "dong," which have similar meaning and purpose. But be careful in using these words because they are informal and only spoken to close friends and family. The other way to say excuse me is maaf. Maaf. Just like permisi, we can use maaf when asking a question. Except that we only use maaf when apologizing. Maaf can be used for either excuse me or I'm sorry. But if you really want to apologize for something, it might be better to use saya minta maaf. It means I am sorry. And can be used in both formal and informal situations. Saya minta maaf. First, we have the familiar saya or I. Next, we insert the Indonesian word for asking for, minta. Finally, we have maaf meaning sorry. Saya minta maaf. Now it's time for Vira's Insights. Please remember that in Indonesia, if you accidentally bump into someone, we don't say, I am sorry. Saya minta maaf. Instead, we could just simply say maaf.
Seorang wanita bertanya tentang sesuatu kepada seorang pegawai di toko buku. Wanita itu mau melihat buku yang mana? Permisi, saya mau melihat buku yang berada di rak itu.
Buku yang mana yang kamu mau?
Buku tentang mobil.
Tolong tunggu sebentar. Yang ini,
Iya, benar.
silahkan.
Wanita itu mau melihat buku yang mana? Seorang wanita bertanya tentang sesuatu kepada seorang pegawai di toko buku. Wanita itu mau melihat buku yang mana? Permisi, saya mau melihat buku yang berada di rak itu.
Buku yang mana yang kamu mau?
Buku tentang mobil.
Tolong tunggu sebentar. Yang ini,
Iya, benar.
silahkan.
Seorang laki-laki dan perempuan sedang melihat menu di sebuah restoran. Apakah yang akan dipesan oleh laki-laki itu?
Kamu mau pesan apa?
Pisanya kelihatan enak. Sepertinya saya mau pesan itu saja.
Saya baru makan pizza kemarin. Jadinya,
Oh, ya sudah. Bagaimana dengan hamburger?
kedengarannya oke. Saya pesan itu saja.
Apakah yang akan dipesan oleh laki-laki itu? Seorang laki-laki dan perempuan sedang melihat menu di sebuah restoran. Apakah yang akan dipesan oleh laki-laki itu?
Kamu mau pesan apa?
Pisanya kelihatan enak. Sepertinya saya mau pesan itu saja.
Saya baru makan pizza kemarin. Jadinya,
Oh, ya sudah. Bagaimana dengan hamburger?
kedengarannya oke. Saya pesan itu saja.
Seorang laki-laki sedang menelpon kantor dokter. Pukul berapa laki-laki itu harus datang ke kantor dokter? Halo, ada yang bisa dibantu?
Hari ini Anda akan tutup pukul berapa?
Kami akan tutup pukul 6, tapi mohon datang sebelum pukul 5.30.
Oke, terima kasih.
Pukul berapa laki-laki itu harus datang ke kantor dokter? Seorang laki-laki sedang menelpon kantor dokter. Pukul berapa laki-laki itu harus datang ke kantor dokter? Halo, ada yang bisa dibantu?
Hari ini Anda akan tutup pukul berapa?
Kami akan tutup pukul 6, tapi mohon datang sebelum pukul 5.30.
Oke, terima kasih.
Seorang laki-laki sedang membaca dari buku hariannya. Apakah hal pertama yang dilakukan laki-laki itu hari ini?
Cuaca hari ini sangat bagus. Aku pergi berenang di kolam renang pada sore ini. Dan pergi nonton ke bioskop di malam hari. Saya juga belajar sepanjang pagi. Hari ini lumayan juga.
Apakah hal pertama yang dilakukan laki-laki itu hari ini? Seorang laki-laki sedang membaca dari buku hariannya. Apakah hal pertama yang dilakukan laki-laki itu hari ini?
Cuaca hari ini sangat bagus. Aku pergi berenang di kolam renang pada sore ini. Dan pergi nonton ke bioskop di malam hari. Saya juga belajar sepanjang pagi. Hari ini lumayan juga.
Seorang wanita dan pria sedang melihat sebuah foto. Mereka sedang melihat foto yang mana? Ini adalah foto tim sepak bola anak laki-laki kamu, kan? Anak kamu yang mana?
Yang ini,
Oh, dia yang paling tinggi.
iya. Bahkan dia lebih tinggi daripada saya.
Mereka sedang melihat foto yang mana? Seorang wanita dan pria sedang melihat sebuah foto. Mereka sedang melihat foto yang mana? Ini adalah foto tim sepak bola anak laki-laki kamu, kan? Anak kamu yang mana?
Yang ini,
Oh, dia yang paling tinggi.
iya. Bahkan dia lebih tinggi daripada saya.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to know how to improve your listening and speaking skills, be able to save conversations, listen to them as many times as you want, and learn hundreds of practical everyday conversations? Well, there is an easy way to do this. In this video, we'll go over how to speak more using the dialogue track. So, what is the dialogue track? The dialogue track is an audio track with just the conversation from the lesson. It's only about 10 to 30 seconds long. Let's say you're looking at a 5-minute lesson about ordering food at a restaurant. First, you hear a conversation. Then our teachers explain every grammar rule and translate every word, so you know what it all means. That's where the dialogue track comes in. It gives you just the conversation. Here's what makes the dialogue track so powerful. First, you can quickly review the conversation without re-listening to the lesson. The dialogue track is just 10 to 30 seconds long, so it won't take you very long to cover both new and old information. This makes it perfect for a quick review of what you've just learned, and it helps keep it fresh in your brain. Second, you'll remember the conversations easier. Listen on repeat, like you would with a song, and the words, phrases, and grammar rules will stick better. And the more you come back to re-listen, the better it will all stick. Third, you'll speak more of your target language. So if you have 10, 20, or 100 dialogue tracks like that, then you have 10, 20, or 100 conversations that you'll know inside out and that you can use in real life. For example, conversations like catching up with friends, ordering at a restaurant, talking about your family, introducing yourself, and much, much more. Fourth, you improve your listening skills and can immerse yourself in the language. So imagine you've finished 20 lessons and you've downloaded 20 dialogue tracks to your phone. That's 20 conversations. You can create a playlist and play those 20 tracks and get used to the language and immerse yourself. To recap what we just learned, here's what you do to make the most of the dialogue tracks. First, after you finish a lesson, download the dialogue track. Save it to your computer or phone so you can listen to it on repeat whenever possible. Just replace 3 to 15 minutes of music listening for some language review. Next, if you've finished 20 lessons, you should have 20 dialogue tracks. Use those to create a playlist of these dialogue tracks so that you can listen to all kinds of conversations. And finally, try shadowing the conversations that you hear. This will become super easy once you've heard the conversation enough times. But if you're still struggling with a word or two, go back to the lesson and check the line-by-line breakdown of the conversation to find the words you need to practice. Boost your speaking skills with the dialogue track and check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! When you start out learning a foreign language, everything is exciting. You pick up new words and basic phrases fairly quickly. The first time you say a greeting or answer the question, "How are you?" you might even get a little thrill. Speaking fluently doesn't feel that far off, and at this point, it really does seem like language learning isn't all that difficult. But after a week or two, things begin to change. After a few weeks of study, you start to hit walls as you're faced with strange grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Everything about learning a new language seemed promising and hopeful before, but now you start to realize how difficult it's going to be. Speaking the language now feels like a long, far-off goal that you may or may not achieve one day. But don't let the innocence of being an absolute beginner or the disillusionment of being an experienced learner discourage you from learning. Speaking a new language may not be as far off as you thought. In this video, we'll look at 3 tips to help you practice your speaking skills, no matter what level you're at. Number 1, practice with native speakers. Practicing with native speakers is by far one of the most effective things you can do to improve your speaking abilities. Think of speaking a foreign language as riding a bike. After a certain point, you can't read or theorize about how to do it. You have to actually do it. If you can practice speaking with native speakers who correct you and give good feedback, then you'll be well on your way to improving your speaking. But where can you find native speakers to practice with? If you live in or near a major city, there's a good chance there are some native speakers there. You might even get lucky and discover an entire community. Do a little research into the demographics of your city, or simply keep your eyes open the next time you go through town. You can also attend a language exchange or cultural event. Meetup is a site for local enthusiast groups, and there are usually some language-speaking clubs or cultural clubs there. If you're unable to find native speakers where you live, then jump online and find them there. There are a lot of free online exchanges that allow you to connect with other language learners from all over the globe via text, audio, or video chat. Look for a speaker who is learning your native language. You can spend an hour or so helping each other in your respective target languages. This is a highly practical and helpful way to learn. It's also a great way to learn more directly about the culture you're studying in a real way. Number 2, devote some time to learning pronunciation. Pronunciation often isn't the first skill people think of working on when learning a foreign language, but that doesn't mean that it isn't important. Truth be told, you don't absolutely need a great accent to speak or understand every language. However, a decent accent can vastly improve your listening and speaking abilities in ways you might not expect. Being able to pronounce words and sounds makes it a lot easier for you to remember and understand new words simply by hearing them. If you can physically make a sound with your mouth, then you can mentally remember it. Once you have a good accent, the new language won't sound as foreign as it once did, and you'll be able to understand rapid speech, as well as pick up the definition of new words based on their conversational context. But how can you improve your accent? If you're serious about developing your accent, then you'll want to dissect the language's sound system into its individual parts. First by letters, then individual words, followed by whole phrases. Start doing some mild research on the phonetics of your target language. You don't have to get too technical here. Just try to get an idea of some of the main differences between it and your native language. Find out where native speakers usually put their tongue while saying certain sounds, or pay attention to the shape of their mouths when they speak. Is it open or closed? These subtle differences are what really help you improve. Once you get the letters down, start listening to native audio and compare your pronunciation to the native speakers. Our language learning program's playback feature is a great way to accomplish this. Take a phrase from a lesson and start by practicing the individual words, playing the audio back at a slower speed and then again at a regular speed. After comparing your speech to the audio, combine the words to make complete phrases, imitating the intonation of the native speakers. This precise method of pronunciation practice is one of the most efficient and effective ways to learn pronunciation. Number 3, imitate, don't just repeat. Anytime you speak, do your best to imitate the native speakers you've heard and practice with. Match the way their intonation rises and falls. Pay attention to their word order. It's even a good idea to match some of their body language. This degree of imitation will probably feel weird at first, but it reinforces fluency in the language and breaks you out of the parrot trap, where you simply learn and speak through rote memorization or repetition. This is a common problem that's often cited with other less effective language learning methods. Speaking a language is like playing music or dancing. You don't want to just know it. You want to live in the moment and feel it as you use it. You don't sit and think of what you're going to say in your native language before you say it. Why would you expect to do the same in a new one? Don't let ruffled expectations make you think that speaking a new language is impossible. Yes, it's difficult, but it probably isn't as difficult as you think it is. With a little determination and some faithful practice, you might be surprised how quick and how far you can progress. Use these tips to better practice the language and see real results in your speaking abilities. And for even more ways to practice your speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.